Hello, welcome back to another video. It is a new year, which means a new video, a new year, new you, and I must say you are looking fabulous. They're looking fabulous. So this video is all about kind of the Disney Cruise Line medical that you have to take if you're doing your application. There was a few questions about medicals and things like that. I've talked about it briefly before, and so I thought I would talk about it briefly again, about my medical and the fact that I had to renew my medical a few months ago, ready to go back whenever that may be. We don't know. Disney Cruise Line pushed back their sailings for another month, so the whole of February into March, or was it all of March?
All of March, it's like the end of March.
To the end of March now, so things just keep being pushed back. So really, for any job when working at sea, working on the cruise line, and I don't know, anything, Navy, anything like that, to work at sea you have to have a medical to be able to be declared fit to work at sea. You have a seaman medical, and no, it is not looking at that. That is a whole different kind of medical. I'm a seaman, you're a seaman, we're all seamen on the cruise ship, and so you have to have a seaman medical, and basically that is just to make sure you're fit for your role. It's something that you have to do during the application process, and Disney will guide you through that when you get to that point. The medical comes kind of after you've had your interview, but before you get on the ship, basically, and you have to have your medical done before you get the official confirmation that you've been hired, right?
Because you can't go through the hiring process without being checked off, like you said, to be fit for sea. So they don't want to get you all the way there and then realize, oh, they are, I don't know.
Completely blind. Every kind of job is different on the ship, so depending on what role you have, there's a slightly different medical requirements for that, and we'll come to that later on. But I recently had my medical, so you have your medical during the application process, and then it renews every 2 years, and mine ran out during the summer, and so Disney said go and get your medical renewed. And if there is one thing I have learnt from renewing my medical, Taylor, it is that I am now considered a very fat man. I'm a big man. I'm medically big.
Overweight, your BMI said.
I am overweight. Yeah. I didn't believe it. I do believe it now, because actually I can see for the first time in my life I can no longer fit into trousers that I own. Squeeze myself into my jeans just barely. It's kind of like if you've got a baby's sock and you try and put an adult's foot into it. That's what it's kind of like. Or a glove, and you try and fill that glove with 5 gloves worth of sausage meat. You just go, you're just pushing air. Every time you push a little bit in, it comes out. Get this in to my jean waist. Every time I push a little bit in, it pops out on the other side. That's what I'm living through. And I put it down to, I think this weight gain has come from the fact, I blame the cruise line. Because when we went into that pandemic cruises and we had no guests, we were eating at cabanas, eating at the guest restaurants. So I was eating pizza and chicken tenders every day and ice creams, and I haven't helped myself during lockdown. I was running at the beginning of it, but then it got too hard, probably because I was getting too big and I could no longer sustain my weight on my own legs. Right, so going back to the Disney medicals. So when you first apply, you need to go for your Disney medical. As I said, in between the application process, after the interview, before you get on the ship, before you're even out on the ship, you have to have one. And you'll do that either via Disney's preferred partners. I'm going to burp. That's those 3 cheeseburgers I had for breakfast. Or you will get preferred partners in your country. I assume every person from every country has a preferred partner. Disney has like clinics they use. In England, there's about 5, or the UK I should say, there's about 5 that they use, and they give you the address and they say to you, go and book your appointment. Now you don't have to use those preferred partners, do you?
No, they also give you the option of going to your preferred physician if you'd rather. Yeah. And then they'll reimburse you up to
$500. So if you go to like their preferred partner, you don't pay anything other than maybe your train fare there, which Disney won't reimburse that. But you'll go to that preferred partner. You book the appointment yourself. You're responsible for doing it yourself. And if you spend a long time trying to book it, it delays your process. So the quicker you do it, the quicker you have it done. It feeds into the application better. But you'll go there. You have your medical done. You won't pay a penny. But if you go to your own doctor, or you go to somewhere else that will do it for you, they will charge you for that privilege. Disney will reimburse that as long as you keep the receipts, bring it back onto the ship. But if you don't bring the receipts, you don't get it paid back. Also, you have to be careful that if you choose your own doctor, that they can do it. Because there's bits on it that certain things that I think you need specialist equipment and stuff for as such.
Like the hearing test, not every doctor has that.
The hearing test, the eye test stuff. They take your blood.
Yeah.
So they need to have the ability, have the ability to take your blood, but then they need to send that off. So your doctor then would have to arrange to send it to somewhere, and then pay for it, and then you have to pay for it. Whereas these preferred partners have all that in place for you, so it's a lot easier to do, which I recommend doing it like that. How was your medical?
My medical was a mess. They lost my blood,
Oof.
Weirdly enough, and they didn't tell me.
Lose blood.
I don't know. So I, went to the preferred partner, got it all done, gave them my blood, which I'm not normally good with either. Like, either I pass out or get really nervous. So it took a lot of courage for me to go and give my blood. And then maybe a couple days later, I reached out to the recruiter and said, hey, did you guys hear back from the medical partner? And she said, no. So then I had to call, because like you said, I had to schedule everything myself. I had to call, 2 or 3 different people to figure out that my blood had been sent somewhere else, and they didn't even know where they sent it. So who knows where my blood ended up. But
science lab testing.
That's what I thought. Like, they're gonna clone me or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to it. So if we figure out in a couple of years that they've cloned me, we'll
that's why I
see.
always keep a spare test tube of blood
Yeah.
in my pocket, just in case you lose it. You never know.
I should have done that.
Yeah,
I
right.
didn't. But then anyway, I had to go and give more blood. When I went to go give blood again, the office that I went to actually had a gas leak in the building. So then they sent us all away. We had to go into a different building. So it was really
Was it a gas leak or did someone fart
No,
in the medical centre?
an official gas leak. We all had to be evacuated from the building. So then we had to go to another place, gave blood again, and then everything was okay. But it was not easy for me.
Not
but
as simple as it wanted to be.
No, thankfully though, the recruiter was really on top of everything and helped me with who I needed to call, what I needed to do to figure out where my blood went. Not that I ever did, but
It's never come back.
no.
Could be out there. We'll find it one day. We'll do a treasure hunt. We'll try and find your blood. So, but apart from that, it's generally quite a simple process.
Yes.
You just have to do it. I think I was a little bit anxious at first because I was like, I've got to go and organise my own medical at a place. I don't know where it is or what to do and what I'm supposed to do. And I think I was more anxious of getting it right. They send you a form, a pre-form already that has everything you need to be done. And I was like, have I got everything? Have I got all the form? But then when I went to the medical, they actually had the form already. But I think because they were a preferred partner, they have copies of the forms. So they already had it, so they just printed it out and I had a spare copy. Anyway, and then at the end of it, I didn't even get to keep my pee in a cup.
You want to keep it?
I thought it was going to be a souvenir. I thought I'd get to, they call me 2 cups Ash. They call me because I can fill 2 cups at a medical test. I thought, one for them, one for me. No, they don't. They want that. They only wanted 1 cup. They threw the other one away. But once you've had your medical, they basically send you off. They say thank you very much, pat on the back, off you go. And then a couple of days later, they wait for their test results to come back from your blood to make sure you're good there. And then they send that electronic copy to Disney, and then they send you the hard copy with you in the mail to your house, and then you bring that hard copy with you to the ship. Also, make sure that you know about your immunisations.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. So obviously, depending on what role you have, as I said, depends on what medical requirements you need. Working in youth activities, because you're working with kids all the time, there's certain vaccines that we definitely need to have. There's no exceptions.
You can't get around it.
Yeah, there's no exceptions for it. Now, if you're from the UK, you probably would have had that. I think they're almost compulsory. Like these are vaccines that everyone has. They are standard. You have them as kids. But you just need to have evidence that you've had them. So the medical form is part of your application process. You need to have the medical done before you can start. You might get given a start date before you've had your medical, because Disney might think, oh, actually, if you can do all this stuff really quickly, we'll get you on a ship by this date. But if you don't get your medical done within a certain amount of time frame, they'll take that start date away from you, and they'll just keep pushing it back, and then eventually I think they will pull the plug on your application. And did you say yours was pushed back?
Yeah, because of the whole loss of blood situation. My embark date was actually supposed to be a week beforehand. But because I lost my blood, that pushed everything back. And the ship ended up being down at Host for a week because I was supposed to embark on the 24th of September, and then it pushed back to the first week of October. So yeah, as soon as you get your medical information, definitely go book the appointment and really be on top of it, because that could get you onto the ship sooner. And that's really what you want when you're entering that application process.
Yeah. And then when you do the renewed medical, it's actually a quicker process.
Yeah.
Like the medical itself was a lot quicker. And they took my blood still and they weighed me, of course, which was I weighed 91 kilograms, which was 14 point something stone, which is like 194 pounds or something like that. So I'm nearly a 200 pounds a man. You know, you can see it in my face.
But didn't they
Right
say
here.
nice things about your?
Well, this is the medical here. I'm not going to show you all the medical, but it's all been stamped and approved. And then they've ticked off on my medical form different things like head. Is it normal or abnormal? You'll be happy to know my head was normal. My sinus, my nose, my throat was normal. Everything was normal, included, and I'm very proud of this one. My anus was normal.
Yeah.
So I got a good tick in there, but it was a non-rectal exam. That's in brackets. Okay, so they didn't actually inspect inside of it.
So they just looked at the outside?
Well, they must have. They must have looked at the outside. They just went, do you know what? Oh, damn, that boy's got a normal anus.
Yeah.
That's what they said. Don't worry about, there's no gloves and fingers. I will get this framed and I will get this put on the wall. On that note, I think that brings us to the end of this video. I think I'll leave you with that pleasant image. If you've got any questions about medical, again, any questions about anything else, please let me know. But again, thank you for watching. Hopefully, we don't know when we'll be back on the ship. Still waiting. Could be soon, could be sooner, could be not quite soon. We don't know. But again, thank you for watching, and yeah, until next video, goodbye.
Have a great New Year.
Bye bye. You can't say Happy New Year.
I said have a great New Year.
Have a great New Year. When did you stop saying that?
Well, you said Happy New Year in the beginning.
Have a great. Yeah, but that's because at the beginning I haven't seen him yet.
Neither have I. Have a great 2021.